Okay, so today's session we are going to be talking all about support and resistance. Before I get started, does anyone know anything about support and resistance? If you do, shout out and just give me your ideas about what you think support and resistance is. Anyone at all?
Want me to put in the chat or just say?
Yeah, just say out loud. We've got a good enough people just have an interactive session.
Yeah. So I think it's supporting like trend lines, upward trends, downward trends, like you have floor and ceilings of those. In between those will tell you what you're, or yeah, I'll stop there.
Cool. No, you're on the right track, 100%. So this is not going to be a slideshow. I'm going to go straight into the charts. But before I go into the charts, I just wanted to quickly showcase exactly what a support resistance is. So support is your floor, resistance is a ceiling. So think of having like, you have like a ball, you have like a bouncing ball, right? And you've got like a bouncing ball that you bounce across the floor. What happens when you bounce it on the floor? It bounces back up, right? So your support is like that floor where think about a bouncing ball just bounces on it and it bounces back up. Now, if you try to hit on the ceiling, what happens? It doesn't go through the ceiling. It bounces off the ceiling and comes back down. So that's exactly what price does when you have a support and resistance area. So if it doesn't break the floor or the ceiling, then it's a good indicator when you do come to a support area. For example, in this example here, where we've got an upward trend, if you've got a support area, you would anticipate that if it doesn't break a support area, it will bounce off that floor and move upwards, just like a bouncing ball would do when you bounce it across on the floor. Now, if it was going on a downtrend and you had an area of resistance, then you would anticipate that it will hit that resistance zone and then come down. So you're looking for sells. So it will be easier for us to go into the chart. So I'm gonna open up TradingView and let's go through some examples on TradingView. Okay, so here we've got TradingView. Oh, let me just remove these lines are from before. Okay, cool. And we're looking at this particular, it doesn't matter what pair it is, but this particular pair happens to be DAX, which is German Stock Exchange Index. Oh, can hear someone. I'm just gonna mute you for now. Cool. So here we've got a chart, which is made up of candlesticks. Now, the candlestick is quite important. So I'm gonna first walk through the different parts of a candlestick and then go into the support and resistance zones. So if let me go into the 1 minute, right? Okay. So here we've got candles, all right? Now, the candlestick is made up of two the candlestick is made up of two major components, okay? You have the body of the candle, which is the square, and you also have the wicks, right? Now, the body of the candle indicates where price has spent most of its time, okay? So here is the price of this chart, and the body, the larger the body, it depicts how within this time frame, so we're looking at a 1 minute time frame, which area or zone did this price stay in? Okay. Now, when you have a wick means that price did visit this area, however, it struggled to stay there and therefore created a wick. So when you see a wick at the top, so imagine this is your candle and you have a long wick at the top, it indicates that price did reach this height, but then struggled and came down. So then it gives you an indication that maybe price is struggling to go up and actually maybe looking to come down, right? And you see that you often see that, okay? But that's a high level on candlesticks. You know, there is a whole Bible on candlesticks. I will send it out to Denise and she can circulate it to you guys because I do think it's a good thing to make sure you are.
I think we lost you.
Oh God.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Am I back?
Write a message to her. Maybe she's still blabbing and she thinks that.
Oh, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me? Hello? Oh dear. Hello. Can you hear, guys? Sorry about that. Can you still hear me? If you can hear me, can I get some sort of indication in the chat box?
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys. Sorry, it's that time of day that my internet just wants to play games with me.
It's okay.
Okay, well, it still says it's recording at the top, so let's pray. Okay, so here we go. So I was going through candlesticks. I don't know where I lost you guys, so I'm going to quickly go over it real quick because it's going to be important when it comes to looking at your zones. Okay, so here we have a candlestick, your different candlesticks, and the elements that make up a candlestick is its body and the wicks. Now, the body indicates where price has spent most of its time during that time frame. Okay, so right now we're in the 1 minute time frame. So that means that every one of these candles.
I can't hear her now.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I can hear you guys. Oh, God. Oh dear. Okay.
Oh no, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
Oh, you can. Okay. All right. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna change up. I'm gonna connect to my data. One sec.
Okay.
Just the devil doesn't want us to do this, but the devil's a liar. So
Amen.
we will get through this.
He doesn't know who he's got on the line.
Honestly. All right. Where is my phone? Okay, Google. What's the time? Okay. Thank you. Right. Sorry, I was just looking for my phone. I'm just gonna pause. Cool. So pop-ups. All right, so as I was talking about candlesticks, the body means where price has consolidated within that time frame. So right now, I'm on the 1 minute time frame, meaning that every single one of these candlesticks represents a minute. if I was on the 5 minute, it will, every one of the candlesticks will represent a 5 minute. Now, okay, right. So we have the body of the candle represents the where price has stayed. Now wicks represent where price has tried to go to, but struggled to stay in that area. So when you have wicks like so, just annotate. So when you have wicks like so in these areas, they indicate price. They indicate price reversals.
Tash, I think you can resize it as well.
Yeah.
You can resize it, 2-finger resize it on your side.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Denise.
Yeah.
So the wicks indicate price reversals. So if, for example, and I'll just draw it out here, you have a candlestick, right, that has a really long wick at the bottom, that will indicate that price tried to stay this low, but it has struggled to stay that low. Okay, so because it struggled to stay that low, it means that, because it struggled to stay that low, it means that it wants to, instead of falling, it wants to climb. Okay, and that's exactly what price does. So I'll give you an example. Here we have a wick, which indicates that price wanted to go up. Why? Because it struggled to stay down. The next wick at one point did go higher. It was here. So at one point, price did go higher before it dropped. Is everyone following? If you're following, let me know in the chat. Okay. So candlesticks tell a story. Okay. Now, when we're looking at support and resistance zones, we're looking at areas in which we're focusing on the body of, well, for people who mark their support and resistance zones, they typically do it with the body of the candles in mind. Why? Because that's the main areas where price stays. Okay. So one sec. So with that said, I'm now going to draw out some support and resistance zones. Okay. One sec. All right. So let me clear off. Okay. So if I go to, let me go to a 4-hour chart. Okay, perfect. Okay. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna use a line to draw out the different areas of support and resistance. Okay, and then I'm just gonna walk through them. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to just zoom in a little bit. Okay. So what I've done, I have marked up the support and resistance zones of this particular currency, well, DAX, this index. Right? Now, what I've done, how I've marked up my support and resistance zones is any area in which you can see it is either struggled to surpass a couple of times. So, for example, here, price tested this area. I can bring it down a little bit. 3 times. You know, it went up, tested it, it dropped. Remember, it's a resistance area is a ceiling, right? So it went up again, it dropped. Let me draw this out. Oh. Let me draw this out for you guys. Right, so price. Oh, God. Okay, cool. Now price went from being here, went up, hit the resistance, dropped, hit this with support, it didn't break, it went back up, hit this resistance, dropped, didn't break again. So this is a solid support, right? It tested it twice and it didn't break, so it's a solid support, okay? It went up again to your area of resistance. So here it's tested this area of resistance 3 times and it can't break, it hasn't broken. So when you see areas where it's tested areas of support and resistance and it hasn't broken, then that is a strong area of support and resistance. But then look what happened here. Price broke through that support. Okay. So price broke through that support. It broke through that support. And when it broke through that support, you can see that it came up. Oh, great. Oh, my computer is just going a bit crazy right now. So what do you see on your screen right now? Do you guys see my chart on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And where were you before?
Yeah,
Where were you?
it just zoomed in a bit too much.
Oh, okay. So are you on like the 1 minute or the 1 hour?
I'm on the 4-hour chart right now.
4-hour chart?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking at German 30, which is a German index, but you can do this on any pair. I'm just using this for example. Okay. Cool. Let me just go through this again. Cool. So here it's tested it, came back down, tested it, came back down, tested it, came back down, broke through. Now, if you can see, fear of zooming in, you've got some buy candles here, meaning that price actually tried to retest this, what used to be a support. It tried to retest, okay, but did not break back into the support zone. So it retest and dropped. We'll do that in another color. So it retest, brighter color, and dropped. Okay. Let's see if I can zoom into that. Right, so here we can see that it broke the support. It tried to retest that area, and then it dropped again. So by dropping, and you will see this happen a lot, we call it the retest. We call it, so if I go into whiteboard, okay. So if I just draw this out real quick, you've got consolidation happening here. Then you have a break. It's broken through the support. What price will do is come and test that support and then drop. Okay, so whenever someone is looking at a trade, right, and it sees that it's done this consolidation and it's stuck to this area of resistance, area of support, and they're looking to see how is it going to break out of this zone, right? What they will look for is two things: either a bounce off of the support and resistance to go in for either buy or sell. So for example, if I'm going in for a buy, you know, I would want price to drop first, hit this support, and then I will catch the trade from here and I'll buy for it to go up. Okay. All right, so this will be my buy. Okay. Similarly for a sell, you know, I would want price to come up to my resistance area and then bounce off. And so here I'm looking for sells, right? Down, back down to the support area. Okay. So support and resistance zones can help you identify setups, because if it's respected the support, then it means it's going to bounce off the support back up, so you can look for buys. If it has respected the resistance area, then it means it can bounce off that resistance zone and you could be looking for sells. Now, who remembers the basic principles of trading that we spoke about yesterday? Very, very basic principle of what fundamentally trading is. Any guesses?
You kind of broke up there. I didn't hear that last question.
So the question was, what is the basic fundamental? What is trading? What are we basically trying to do when it comes to trading and buying and selling? We spoke about this yesterday.
Buy low and sell high.
Fantastic. Buy low, sell high. Okay. Now, here where we're buying at the support, at the lowest possible point. We're not buying up here. We're buying at the bottom. Here where we're selling at the top, at the highest possible point in this area of resistance, in order to catch this sell all the way down. Okay, so this, if you're drawing this out, is what I like to call bounces. Right? So we're expecting it to bounce off the support, we're going to go in for a buy. If you see it bouncing off the resistance, we're going to go in for a sell. Okay. If you're following this, if this is making sense, let me know. If you want me to go over bounces again before I go over, before I go into retests, let me know.
No, I'm good.
Perfect.
Got it.
Fantastic. So these are bounces, right? Now, the next type of patterns we see with support and resistance zones are breakouts. Okay, so I'm going to clear this now. All right. So, oh, do you know what?
Take your time.
Yeah, I was gonna try and write it out, and it's harder to write with a mouse than it is to type. So breakouts, okay?
Mhm.
So again, with our support and resistance, so imagine let's draw out some support and resistant areas. Okay. So this is a resistance, this is a support, right? And we see prices on this. Okay. Sorry, let me draw. Okay. So we see price has done this. Now, if price at this point, you know, we're going in for a sell, it comes down, breaks the support area, okay? What it would typically do is retest this support, okay? And you will see price come back up. Now, what it could do is two things, right? When it comes back up, price can either pass through and continue on using this as a support, or it can bounce off and retest. So you've tested and it's come down. At this point, on a retest, we know that this line is no longer a support. It's broken the support. So a lot of traders will look for areas of breakouts. So for areas where they will see price go down, break the support, retest that support, so by coming back up to it, before fully saying, it's not a support, we're coming back down. And you will see that similarly with the areas of resistance as well. So area of resistance, you'll see it come, hit the resistance area, completely break through that ceiling, test the area before climbing. Okay. So these are called breakouts because they've broken out of your original support and resistance. Now, when price breaks out, these original support and resistance zones now become inverse. Like, so for example, this now, when it's tested it and it's broken and it comes back and it's broken, where before it was a support, it now becomes the resistance. Why? Because it becomes the ceiling. Yeah. And similarly with if it broke out of the resistance area, keep the same color, you know, so say if it broke, retest, broke, retest, still doesn't pass it, still doesn't break it, this now becomes a support, whereas previously it was a resistance. Okay. And if you're following this, let me know. If you want me to go over this again, also say. If you're happy, I'll get some number ones just to know that you're all happy with this.
Happy, but I'll put someone.
No, it's fine. You don't need to do it. As long as I can hear that you're happy. Cool. Perfect. So these are breakouts. Okay. So let's go see if we can identify the support and resistance zones, your bounce areas, and your breakouts in the charts. Okay. Now that I've gone through it in a little bit more detail, right?
So when this happens, would you recommend trading when it breaks out of these support and resistance zones?
Yeah, 100%. So most people will mark up their zones and will be waiting to see when there's a breakout and will trade on breakout.
Okay.
Okay. So they will look and say, okay, you know, price has broken this support. All right, I'm going to wait for it to retest it before being confident that yes, it's definitely not going back into that area. I'm going to go in for a sell. You know, similarly with here, if it breaks through the ceiling, so it's broken through the resistance, you're going to wait for it to retest to say, oh, is it going to come back into the zone? If it doesn't, then cool, you have a confirmation that it's most likely going to just bounce back off and go in for a buy.
Okay.
So people look for areas of breakouts in the market, hence why support and resistance is spoken so much, because it really does underpin your any strategy that you have. A lot of these indicators are indicators of areas of support and areas of resistance, just branded and named different things.
Right.
Cool. So let me share. Let me go back to the charts. All right. So now that we've gone through support and resistance, in theory, let's see on the chart, right? So here, 4-hour chart, we can see, if we look at this particular area here, just look at this square here. All right, let's look at this square first. Now, I've marked up support and resistance based on where price has seemed to not be able to move out of this zone, right? So in here, you can see price has done, you know, up, down movements within this zone, hasn't broken this zone. So if I was trading this and I could see that this is a zone, I would be waiting to see how price will break out of this zone. Okay. Now, as you can see outside of this pink box, all right, so let me put another box here. Right, price did what? Price did what? It broke through the resistance. Oh, sorry, the support. It broke through the support. These green candles indicate buy. So, oh, it broke through the support.
Then it retested, right?
Exactly. Retested the green lines, the green candles. It retested and then dropped. So people who went into this trade would have waited for this retest to happen, and then would have caught the sell from here, and then literally held the trade. Held the trade. Look at that. Just eating for free. Risk-free trade. But as you continue to trail your stop loss in profit, you know? And that's how support and resistance work in the market. Right. Let's do another one. This time I want to give someone control, and you show me where the support and resistance zones are. Yeah? Should we do that? Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So someone give me a pair. Just name any pair.
USD CAD.
Okay. Cool. All right. So let me see. We got some. Okay. Oh. Let's just do this small area here. All right. Should I give you control? Let me give you control. Just need more. Okay, I can't give you a control, never mind. Apologies. I'm just gonna try and walk me through where I should place the horizontal lines. So I'm gonna start from here and I'm gonna keep moving up and you just tell me when to stop.
Okay, wait. Okay, so the first line there is a line, and then the next one is, I was gonna say go down a bit.
Okay, we could do that. Oh,
because you're starting from, where are you starting from?
hold up.
Oh yeah, okay. So that should be a support.
Okay.
And then
Up or down?
down.
Okay.
Yeah, like there.
Okay.
Or just above that.
Okay.
You know, the peak of that little thingy there? Yeah.
Okay.
There.
And then let's draw one more.
Should we go way up top there? At the top of that peak?
Okay, let's draw another one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we've drawn some result support and resistance. Now I've used lines, but a lot of people like to use boxes because it's a zone. It's not like a hard only line piece. So yeah, some people like to draw boxes.
Oh, boxes. Okay, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, so some people like to draw like an area like so.
Okay.
It's an area of support. Yeah, so that's how some people like to draw out their areas of support and resistance. Doesn't matter, as long as you are comfortable and you can see. Now, in this example that we've drawn out, okay, same concept, same thing, right? So price has struggled to move from this point. So this is a resistance and it's bounced off this resistance, right? And it broke the resistance, it broke the support, came back up, tested it, kept on testing it, broke, tested it. Then it broke again, right? Came back up, broke it again, came back into the zone. So for me, a lot of people would have been, you know, this is on a daily. It may look different on a smaller chart, but people may have looked at this and thought, okay, it keeps breaking and coming back down. So therefore this support area around here is not strong. It's not a strong support. Why? Because price is seeping through. Like if you are, you know, it's seeping through. So this for me is an indicator. If it's broken it a few times, this support is going to break. We're looking for a sell to come through. Right, so it's all about finding an area of entry. Remember, sell high, buy low. So you would, when you see this, if you've marked up the support zone and you see that it keeps breaking, then you know that this support is going to potentially be a new resistance and therefore an area where you're going to sell. Okay, so you would want to sell as close to this zone as possible. Now imagine if you sold right off of here, right? You sold right off of here and it then dropped. It would have come retested, but it's cool because you've got a great entry. Now imagine if you went into a sell here, you'd be sweating bullets. Like you literally be sweating bullets because now price has retraced on you, you know, going the opposite direction. You're in a loss. You're thinking, oh my God, but I know it's going to break. And you're sweating because you didn't go in at a good entry zone, right?
Right.
So you want to go in really high, you know, higher entries entry as possible when you're going in for a sell. So right on the resistance zone, right? And guess what will eventually happen? If it doesn't break through this area, it's going to respect this zone. And look what happened. It found its floor, tested tested it, broke through,
Yeah.
okay, but then couldn't break through this area, so just kept on using it, and now this has become the new resistance. Yeah, so price keeps bouncing off of it, right? The price may come, now that it didn't break this area here, people would have gone into this as a buy, right? Expecting price to potentially go back up and to hit this resistance area and come back down. Who knows? It could potentially do that. Let's see what happens tomorrow with price. Although, you know, this doesn't take into account news, etc. We all know what's happening with the US right now. Its sentiments are quite volatile at the moment. So, but based on support and resistance zones, you would be expecting to see some buys at this point. Okay, so at this point, you're expecting some buys. Okay, now if it breaks this zone, we want it, before we go into anything, we want it to retest and then go in for a sell. Okay, similarly, if it makes its way all the way back up to this area and it breaks it, we want it to retest and then go in for a buy. This is what we call price trapping, by the way.
Price what?
Price trapping.
Trapping, okay.
Yeah, price trapping. Okay, so that's it. That is support and resistance. I hope this has made sense. I know right now I've got a lot of scribbles on the screen, but
no, it's awesome.
I hope this makes sense. And now when you look at a chart, you know, you don't have to draw them. I mean, you don't have to, but there's pairs that really, really follow this support and resistance zone really well. Like, for example, gold. Gold is a pair that really, really follows the support and resistance. In fact, most people, when they trade gold, they trade using zones. Okay. So if you've ever gone into WOW and you've seen any educator talking about zone-to-zone trading, what they mean is support resistance areas. They're literally looking for some support resistance areas, and they call those zones, you know. And gold is one of those pairs that really, really respects the support and resistance zones in terms of looking for breakouts, looking for breakouts, looking for retests. Gold does that. And if you're not careful with gold and you go in too late, it will be very punishable. So I would say test out drawing out support and resistance zones on gold, because gold is a good pair to do that on, or any currency pair. But you know, just remember, buy low, sell high, look for bounces off the support and resistance zones, or look for breakouts, retest, and then entry. Yeah.
Right.
And that's it.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Ladies,
so, yeah.
can we give Miss J some love? Like, I mean, in the chat, like, fire.
Thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Look, I'm just excited because this is the starting of some successful trader story here. And I'm just glad to have had a small minor part to play in that. I'd encourage you guys, go and check out Jay Adams' masterclass. Wow, he's gone through some of these elements as well, which are really cool. So if you need another recording, want to hear it from a different point of view as well, you know, go and check his stuff out. He's really good. But yeah, I'm excited. Like, this is our season. I keep saying it. Is this the end of your boot camp, or have you guys got more sessions lined up?
Well, we were hoping to do one tomorrow with you, possibly.
Okay. Tomorrow. Oh, yeah, tomorrow. Oh, let me just record in.